Well, my next guest is genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met in the industry. Now, I worked with him on Studio 10 during my time there, and we've remained friends ever since. You know him as psychic medium John Edward. I know him as Doctor Who fan John Edward. However you know him, he's here on McKnight Tonight, and I spoke to him a little earlier. John, welcome to McKnight Tonight.
How are you? It's good to see you. It's good to be here, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. You have always been one of the nicest men. I genuinely mean it that I've ever met in the industry. So
Oh,
thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. It's not the first time you've done something like this. People won't know, but when I had finished with Studio 10, I where I was living in Sydney, out in the suburbs, you actually came out to my house to record an audio interview of McKnight Tonight. You didn't have to do that. That is just the kind of generosity you have. So thank you.
oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I enjoy doing that conversation as well.
Well, it is a fascinating conversation, and it is available on the McKnight Tonight podcast. But John, let me ask you: do you think your abilities give your life a purpose? And if so, what is that purpose?
I do. I do actually. I feel like everybody has a purpose, and I think the goal is to try to figure out, are we living our purpose? Are we living with intention? I think it became clearer for me when my mom passed in 1989. I didn't intentionally go into this further, but out of need to know that she's okay, that just became part of my I had this ability, and my focus went more towards communicating with the afterlife. But I think everybody can find out what their purpose is. I think that they can do that by looking at their astrological chart. I don't do that, but if you find somebody that can do your astrology, they can help you if you're living your purpose, if you're living your truth. Um, but for me, yeah, it's a resounding yes.
So, what is it that a psychic medium gives other people? Is it a sense of comfort? Is it knowledge about the future? When I ask about that purpose, what are you doing for other people?
I'm hoping that my ability to bridge the physical world and the non-physical world helps them to know that there's a survival of consciousness, that love never dies, that our loved ones and friends are still with us. But I'm hoping that I'm getting them to become a seeker, because if you become a seeker and an explorer, that leads to discovery, that leads to raising your awareness, and then when you have your awareness raised, you can put things into action. So I think being a student is important, being a seeker and learning new things, and not limiting what we know to what we know. And if somebody tells us that we're wrong about something, not to go from being defensive, but do the opposite. Be like, oh, that's interesting, and then try to figure out why they're saying that, and confirm your original, thoughts or beliefs without like a cognitive bias type of a thing. But maybe be surprised that you're going to explore and find new things. I mean, I've done that in the 40 years of doing this. I've had to shift my perspective within the realm of the world that I work in. Like I used to think like as soon as somebody passes, you have to wait 6 to 9 months before you can go get a reading because they need to acclimate to being there. Well, I had to change that because I then started to have people coming through before their family members knew they had even passed.
Oh,
And then that
wow.
would be validated. So now yeah, I started to recognize that it doesn't matter how long someone's gone. It mattered for me as the person. So I got in the way. My personal bias got in the way of what I did. So that's what I mean about you could be good at what you do. You could know what you know, but like any doctor, they need to keep learning. Otherwise, when new things come out, when new things happen, when new breakthroughs in medicine take place, we won't be able to experience that because we're just limited to what we know.
Hmm. You know, it's interesting. You have a legion of fans who love you, but you've also got your detractors. Um, we've talked about this. I'm a
Still bit.
skeptic, right? But
Yeah.
I've got to say, as the executive producer of Studio 10, I am happy to put my reputation on the line and say there was no faking it when you were on the show. Everything that you did, everything that we saw you do with people was all very, very real. And I've said to you, you have made me a believer. How do you deal with the detractors? Why do you think what you
Um,
do upsets them
like,
so
was
much.
he missing or was somebody missing or was there like somebody in the
Because I think
family that was
I
like
make
out of
them
the family for a
confront
while
realities that they don't want to
and
look
you
at. I think I make them,
and had you been
and I say
there
them. And when
had
I
you
say
been there
them,
okay
it's
when this
people that are
happened
more cynical than skeptical. I think
so you
skepticism
were
is
aware
good.
when you found out
Cynicism
that
is
somebody
bad. And I
was
think
missing
the
Mm.
them is the cynical approach
and
to
I don't know
things.
how long
And I
this
think
took
that I
but
become
you
a
wanted someone to
reflector
tell
and
you
a
that
reflection back of
other
things that
people
they
were
don't want
able
to
to
have
have
to
an
review in their own
impact
lives.
on
And usually it has
you
to
know
do
the
with
relationship the
where they feel like
conversation
they lack
even though you
love
would have
or
been
empathy.
connected for a short period of
So
time because I don't know if you were
they
connected
hide
with them
that
for a long period
behind
of time
the bravado of
but the
he's a grifter, that's a fraud, that's a this, that's a that. But in reality, if they really looked at it, it's like, okay, what is it that I'm reflecting back in their lives that they don't want to have to look at? But I also get it because I was that person, not cynical, skeptical. I was skeptical. But I'm also the person that if you have data, evidence, if you see things like you just said, you know, I was just at Channel 10 in Sydney,
Yep.
and when I walked into the building to do the one of the news breaks in the afternoon, it was the studio where I had the meltdown on you, where I was like, "Oh my God," because because they had moved the studio from the one that you were just showing up on the
We
screen,
were in
and
a
here I
we
am,
every time you used to
I'm
come, we were in an enclosed studio, and then we moved out onto the newsroom floor. And you had agreed because you always came and did readings. We loved it. It rated. It was good TV. We had a great relationship. You did with me, myself, and Studio 10. And then you came and saw it was this big open area, and you did. And I remember you saying you only did it because of our relationship, because otherwise
yep.
you would have just said no.
I would have said I can't do it today. And the reason is that in my mind I had done the show so often, and I knew the studio, I knew where we were going, and I knew it was encapsulated. It was like one closed off space, and that means it was limited to the people that were there, whether
Mm.
it be the camera guys or the control room. It's just one enclosed, encapsulated bunch of energy. When we walked onto that new set, and everything was open and the newsroom was behind us and there was like people walking around, that now meant that any of the people that were in earshot, could wind up reading. And I don't know if you remember, but I wound up reading for an executive that was like on the second floor that was watching, and
I
they wouldn't
remember
come down
distinctly. And they
because I
wouldn't
remember your
take part
expression,
of
like
it. They
you were
wouldn't
like,
take part, but then
yep,
wanted your insights after we had finished shooting. And I'm just like, oh, no, no, no. You had your chance.
yeah, yeah. But thank you, Robert, for
Uh,
validating the experience and for validating that, that it was real.
It was real. And we saw that there were times too when it might be a producer that you fed off or someone down in makeup. And we had to own that, because I know that when I post this video individually, I'm going to get comments saying, how can you put that charlatan up? And I'm going to tell you again, all I can say is what I saw as someone who is skeptical, that what I saw was real. What you tapped into was this truth about what people that there things came out during your readings in that studio that you didn't even want to go as far as they wanted you to go, because you were concerned about what would become public. and and we had
Correct.
a lady who completely was happy for you to open up, and I think we took a commercial break, and you were able to just confirm with her how far she was willing to go. And so I come back to it time and time again. You can disbelieve, that's fine, but people like to use the word charlatan with you, and I don't like that,
Mm,
because you are one of the most honest and genuine people I've ever met, and it does not sit
thank
well
you.
with me when people use that term.
Well, I tell people I have only a limited amount of like opportunities when it comes from them. So I'm either crazy, like delusional, I think I can do this, or I'm this really heinous individual who's taking advantage of people, right? Those are the options that they give me.
Yep.
So I guess I'm crazy. That's the place I come to.
Well, what would
It's
you be
okay,
without this gift?
It's well, I would probably be still working in healthcare. My background is in healthcare. I started on the clinical side, working in a laboratory. And then I moved into when I got my degree. I'm a few credits short of a master's degree in public health and healthcare administration. Um, I probably would have went back to the clinical side because I preferred the clinical side over the administration side. I found that boring. But I think I
So
would be
you were
doing that
helping
and
people.
probably something. Yeah, healing, something that would be helping or healing. Yeah, that's it. I didn't even think about it that way, but yep.
You're very popular here in Australia. What do you do with your time when you're not here? I assume you're doing tours around the world, but Australia can't get enough of you. So what else do you do?
Most of the time I'm in the States. I could still be touring like different countries like Canada and the UK and South Africa. I've kind of dialed back my touring quite a bit because I launched a platform called TV.
Yep.
So on TV, I get a chance to kind of go across the globe, and it's like a Netflix and like Facebook had a baby for psychic stuff, but it's like mindfulness and astrology, and there's like 15 to 20 live streams a month that take place there with verified creators. It's like a really cool, safe space for people to come. It's like void of politics, void of divisive conversations, a safe haven for people. So anybody that's into this subject matter, not just me, but like just the subject matter, it's a great place for you to check out. You can go to TV.
All right. Well, we will certainly do that. Um, your family have certainly been making headlines, or certainly getting themselves in the spotlight. Your daughter Olivia, last time we spoke, she was breaking out as an actress, but her career's really taking off, isn't it?
It has. She's made quite the name for herself in various different ways. Like she's just highly creative. That's her from being on a show that she started on for 5 years called Better Things.
Mm.
Um, she's done a number of appearances. She just filmed a movie and she's getting ready to film another movie and she's completing her first novel, all while singing and dancing. So it's like she's I don't know, multi hyphenated. I don't know. She's busy. She's very busy and highly creative. Very proud of her.
Well,
And also an
you
amazing astrologer.
okay, because I was about to ask, I thought it was Justin, your son, who you said has the gift, but she does as well, does she?
They both, my son is in medical school. He just completed his, didactic studies and he's getting ready to do like rotations part of medical school. Astrologer, like he can full on do like astrological readings. There they are. And Olivia is also an astrologer. They both can do charts. I don't do astrology. So as a psychic parent, I kind of forced them to learn astrology so that they had something that I didn't have, and they bring that to the equation. So I actually go to them when I want to know stuff. I'll be
Hmm.
like, "Hey, what does this mean?" I see that Uranus is going into Gemini, and Gemini is in my seventh house. I'm my eighth house. I'm like, I don't have anything in the eighth house. What does that mean? And then they tell me. So it's kind of cool.
So does that mean they're not embarrassed by what dad does? Because my kids certainly are.
Oh no. No, I'm not at all. They're very understanding. They don't see it as what I do. They see it more as a way to live. Like this is an energetic belief system, which is kind of like where I'm at with my clients now. Like where I'm at with my clients is to get them to evolve with the information that they can glean either from me or from themselves. Like whether they get their numerology done, their astrology done, they have a reading. I want them to evolve with that information. So I got my kids to look at life through an energetic lens, empower them, enlighten them. But that's what my goal is for my clients. So they're definitely not embarrassed because it's a language that they use in their lives every day.
That's fantastic. I mentioned how much you love Australia. You are coming back. Let's have a look at the tour dates because you are going everywhere, man. It's Sydney, Newcastle, Cairns, Canberra, Darwin, Brisbane, Gold Coast. I've already said that we have to catch up while you're on the Gold Coast. We've got Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and Geelong. Is there any difference between Aussie audiences and people you meet around the world?
It's really hard to say this, but I like the energy in Australia, the energy of the crowds that people come. It's big, it's bold, it's honest. I kind of feel like it's fun and it's welcoming. Like that has been that way for 2 decades, and that's why
Mm.
I make the trip. It's why I like to be here. Like most of these interviews that I'm doing on this media tour, I could do from home, but I like
Yes.
to be here to do them. I want to come into the studios. Like I want to interact while I'm here in the energy of it. And because it's a really phenomenal place. And then I get, negative emails from other countries. Like, it's been 7 years since you've been here, but you've been to Australia 6 times. Like, Canada is like right above New York. How come you're not coming here? It's just different. I mean, I go, but it's different. It's just very, very different. So it is a mutual appreciation, a mutual kind of reception, to use an astrological term.
So do you do individual readings for people? Do you, or is that just, that's too
Sure.
time consuming?
No, no, I do. I absolutely do that, but I don't do it as the main focus of what I do.
Mm.
Um, on Evolve, I do that. Every month there's somebody that's getting, a reading from me on the app when I go live. Uh, but yeah, I can't do readings while I'm touring. So if I'm touring anywhere, I can't see clients then.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, for more information about John's tour dates, just go to johnedward.net. John, you know I love talking to you, and we have a lot of Doctor Who
Same.
to talk about off camera.
We do. We do. We do. We do indeed.
Because I don't think people want to hear us
It's as
talk
hard
about
as we
Doctor
go.
Who. And it's funny. Everyone says to me, "Oh, John Edward, John Edward." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I like talking to him about Doctor Who, not all the other stuff."
It's like let the psychic stuff out of the way. Let's get into the TARDIS. I do like the TARDIS blue theme that you're going with. I like it. I like the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that
very much blue
the
is my
colors,
theme.
right?
TARDIS blue. John Edward, thank you for joining us. I will see you on the Gold Coast when you come up here at the end of the year. Thanks for joining us on McKnight Tonight.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.